Here's one of the statements that can really frustrate teachers. Miss, I'm stuck. And the autopilot response is often, well, in what way or with what? And the worst answer to that is, yes, you guessed it, everything. Because where do you start with that? And more importantly, it's never actually the case. So what's really going on behind the scenes of that declaration of being stuck? Well, it could be one of four things. Firstly, have they read all of the information? Now, that isn't necessarily a criticism. Sometimes it is if they're just being lazy, but more often it's just that they haven't processed that information. Now, very often, if I just have a student reread the introductory information and the question to me, they kind of just suddenly get it. They process something or notice something that they hadn't before, and things just slot into place. Other times, there might actually be sources or resources that they need to be using and they haven't yet done that. For example, maybe a graph or an extract or a diagram to help them answer that question. The second potential hidden situation is that they aren't savvy or skilled in breaking down questions, identifying keywords and command words. And if that's the case, then they're likely just struggling to figure out exactly what they need to do, even if they know the content. And that can be tricky to decipher in some questions or essay titles. And this is why students absolutely need to master their knowledge of command words and their understanding of Bloom's taxonomy. Which leads me nicely to the third possible problem lurking here. It could be that they know what they need to do, they're just not sure how they're going to do it. For example, how to analyze rather than simply describe or explain, how to evaluate effectively and concisely, or maybe they just don't have a template to cover all the bases in responding to a compare and contrast question. This really comes down to their exam technique, even if they're not actually in an exam situation, as well as having a stack of go-to systems and templates in mind or to hand so that they can smoothly and confidently answer any question or command that they're faced with. Lastly, they might actually know all of those things, but perhaps they're just lacking the confidence to go ahead and execute on them. They just don't trust their own judgment. They feel like they need some extra approval or just have someone confirm things for them. And this is unfortunately the least common situation I find with students, but it most often occurs when students have been used to having scaffolds, structures, high levels of input, and need to actually build their own skills in independently putting things into practice. So, if ever your teen is stuck on a homework task or an assignment, then consider those four potential reasons behind that "help, I'm stuck" statement, or simply "I'm just not sure what to do," to help them get on a path to getting clear and confident. I'm Katie Price, grade transformation expert, and wherever you're watching this, please scroll down, share or like this post, leave me a comment, let me know which of these situations is perhaps the case more often for your teen, and until next week, let's make this a fantastic week.